one of our colleagues was sharing with us that she got matched on a dating app, and then the guy sent her like a dating form on Google Forms just to like fill in like her preferences and all of that.
Hi everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Vanessa and I'm really excited to introduce with me today, I'm Monika and Nicole.
I'm John.
Yay! In the spirit of Valentine's Day, we are going to have a little natter, a little chat covering topics like love, relationships, and connection. So before we get into our conversations, let's do a little introduction and get to know each other better. Come on, let's kick it off.
I'm happily single and I'm dating around right now.
I met my current partner 14 years ago in school, in junior college. We started dating when we were 20 and we just got married.
I've known my husband for 12 years, we're married for 9, so it's a lifetime and we actually have 2 beautiful girls.
I met my partner about a year, slightly more than a year ago, and we've been in a relationship for about that same time.
Alright, the first topic is a really interesting one because I met my husband 12 years ago and I have no idea what it's like to date today. So really want to hear from you guys. What is it like to date in 2023?
Okay, the last time I dated was in 2021. Post-COVID, yeah, very reliant on apps for me, definitely.
It gets better after COVID because people are kind of tired of using dating apps.
What does a virtual date look like, just out of interest?
Actually, I have one that I did during COVID. Oh my god, it was when you got in lockdown. He actually bought a ticket for a virtual concert. Yeah, so it was the concert was in Amsterdam. So we watched like on our own laptop, but at the same time you're texting,
Right.
Good.
That's so cute.
But it's funny thing, you still have to dress up at home.
The success stories from dating apps is that people kind of go in knowing what they want already. It's a very different take, but it's more firm and focused, I guess, when you go into it.
Yeah, I think I definitely relate to that. I think because prior to 2021, I think when I was using apps, I thought I knew what I wanted, but none of them really led to anything. And I think like in the beginning of COVID, I had met someone that I thought like, oh, this is definitely gonna go very far, and huge like heartbreak after. So I spent COVID like in a mini like self-retreat, and then that was when I realized like I actually don't know what I want. And once I was clear and able to actually articulate it like even in the app and be very certain about what I'm looking for, I think that also gave me space of mind to like sieve out the people who don't meet that criteria.
And since we're thinking about love and how we're finding connections on the app, do you believe in love at first sight?
I think I've gone through various iterations of this. You learn also, I guess, when you're younger, from being burned, that going too hot and too heavy too soon is not usually going to end up in anything very good. There has to be some kind of attraction. It doesn't necessarily always have to be that physical or visual attraction immediately, right? Sometimes it's getting time to like talk to someone, spend time with them, or even the way they text.
I always joke I married my worst date. He was truly horrific. The whole strategy was dressing up, looking cute, and going to a bar, right? So we did meet in a bar. It's called Insomnia in Hong Kong. And I remember we went for our first date, and I really thought to myself, oh, I'm so sick of these guys showing up, knowing the maitre d', knowing what to order, kind of like they've done it so many times, it's so rehearsed. Like I just want to see a human being. So what happened? We had dinner, it was okay, and then he got up to go to the toilet. He pushed the table down, and it was this small little table, so the whole thing came crashing on his chest. With our hectic and super busy schedules, I really want to know, how do you prioritize your loved ones, whether it's your partner or your family or your friends?
My husband, he's a very extroverted person, and he feels the most loved, I think, when we're going out with friends, meeting people, and I need to recharge at home usually. So with all the other factors like work coming into the mix, I think it takes a lot of like healthy boundary setting as well. I think I let work bleed into personal time a lot previously, but I think it's also just making sure that like you have a cutoff and you really can focus back on like your relationships.
I really like time for myself as much as I like time with people. I don't think about things being big or small. To me, waking up and having my coffee alone, the 5 minutes, I can make that as big for me as I want it to be.
Having the presence to communicate also your needs. I think sometimes, especially in a relationship, and with mine because it's a new one, the expectation of like when there's free time we try to spend it together. But I think what has been good and what has worked was trying to be aware, like okay, and being able to communicate like actually this weekend I need more time alone, or I really don't want to go out even though we're supposed to meet friends. Can we just stay in? And then being able to accommodate, you know, the ebb and flows of like different energy that each of us brings. I think very difficult sometimes to like be the first one to say, I don't want to go out.
And it takes a lot of trial and error too, right? And sometimes you don't even really know what you want because you could be caught up in like just trying to go with the flow for your partner, but then actually you realize, oh, that drains me out quite a bit. And I want to be the best person for you too, and that sometimes means just carving out space for myself.
I think it's really important to learn about each other. And one of the interesting takes is really understanding each other's love language. So I'm interested to know what your takes are. For me, my husband and I are polar opposites. He really loves words of affirmation. I find it really difficult. I don't know if it's my upbringing too. Like, it feels scripted when I say it, so it annoys him. And on the flip side, my top is getting gifts, right? And it's not like it has to be something big or bling, but like if you buy me like an otaban on the way back, I am the happiest human. Along the way, we really tried to temper it, but we found the middle. We love physical touch, so that's something that we do. So my learning is it doesn't have to be the extreme of your love language. It could be the one you have in the middle. Mon, what about you?
For me, actually, acts of service, and it applies to my friends and even to my family. So I really like, you know, doing things for them. Just even small things, you know, sometimes like cutting fruits for my mom.
It's like in different life stages, your love languages do change. Like because we just moved into our new place, there's a lot of things to take care of, like household chores and all of that. Sometimes you feel loved even if your partner just like helps you to make the bed, that sort of thing. Like that's a little small act of service that like maybe I didn't appreciate so much before, but it makes all the difference now.
This is a little bit of a contentious question. Do you believe that love lasts forever? Will you always be attracted and love someone the same? I look at John to kick us off.
Can I quote Michelle Obama?
Okay.
I don't know the exact quote, but I know she talks about this often, right? And it's being okay with that. It won't be the same forever, and you'll have some periods where you don't feel as much love for this other person that you've decided to be in a partnership with. But then being able to take a step back and still ask yourself like, are you still attracted to this person? Do you still respect this person? And then being able to celebrate the moments that are good.
And maybe like when I was younger and I used to be a lot more idealistic, I used to think like it should come a lot more easily. Like there should be a lot of passion to this. Like why do I have to work so hard for a relationship, right? Like shouldn't it just be that like, you know, we fall in love and then we just like go on adventures all the time and that's it. But I've realized that okay, actually there's a lot more there's a lot more work to it than what people talk about, I guess.
For my relationship, there's so many ups and downs. I remember when I got married and my parents, bless them, gave me one piece of advice. They were like, Vanessa, it's 50 years or more that you're signing up for, right? And there are going to be so many ups and downs and moments where you're not ready to enjoy the ups or not ready to face the downs. So I think I took that in. We had, actually my husband and I can share, like we had probably the most significant down when we had our first child, which you would think is the most wonderful experience, but you've just thrown a new person into your relationship, right? That you both love. But you also love each other, and it was so confusing. We did this little diagram, I still have it at home and I framed it. And I remember telling him, this is the problem. Okay, this is me. And this is you. And we are arguing about the problem when we should be standing next to each other and looking at the problem. So we have this little drawing where it's like two stick people, and I always remind myself of that if I'm arguing, I have to take a step back and go, okay, that was hard, but why? We're fighting each other. And it's important to realize you should be fighting the problem.
I think that's how love also grows, right? Where it starts from passion and you love like smaller things about the person initially, then I guess the hope is over time as you overcome these obstacles, that builds into what that experience of love is, right?
I guess I really want to understand from you guys if you have any sharings or any like thoughts about how to keep a connection going with your loved one, whether it's your family, as you know, you grow your friends, you may not see them that often, or it's your friends, like you say, you have to prioritize. So how do we keep that connection going?
Yeah, I think communication is key.
Yeah.
I think having my family not with me here in Singapore, actually communication is super important, right? I think having that calls, actually making random calls to them, actually gives them like a very nice feeling, like, oh, actually she just called me, you know. Just small little things like this actually matters for them.
Having just like moved into my new place, I think this is something that I'm trying to figure out as well. Like even like moving back to my parents' place like a few nights a week just to like see them and spend time with them. That's also like something that I'm like putting into like my schedule to see how I can kind of like make sure that I have time spent with, I guess, each of the people that I love the most.
I think for me, my husband calls me the connectivity enabler. Come rain, come shine, come whatever, work trips, come live, we'll have a date. And we kind of like done a couple of different things. Sometimes we go, you know, trampolining, and that's our date. Really, truly. So our dates not always sit down and have a meal. Like we do these things together. Making new connections. That's like, I think something really challenging. When we moved back from Hong Kong to Singapore, I like literally hadn't been in the country for 10 years, and ironically had less friends here than my husband. My best friends in Melbourne, and I remember moving here and feeling so lonely because I'm a social human. I was like, oh no, I gotta go make friends. Kid you not, I actually had to like brave myself and like go on these like different Facebook groups and like put myself out there. I'm like, hey, have a child, wanna have a play date with me?
I think adulthood also sometimes can be lonely. You know, you have like smaller group of friends, but then I think you have to be always open to meet new people.
I'm just thinking about like my husband and I feel like we both have different strengths when it comes to like connection building. I rely on him very much as like my social buffer because he's so extroverted. I think he just has this natural charm and makes people feel at ease. He's kind of like the one who will approach people, like talk to them, make them feel at ease. But I think I'm like the one who's a bit better at maintaining like the relationships, like following up a little bit. So yeah, I think we're a little bit of a tag team in that way.
Great combo.
Yeah.
I have a very different approach actually. So for me, I'm very protective about who I let into my social circle and the amount of energy that I give. So this was the same principle I applied whether it was like meeting new friends or dating, right? Before I met my partner. If I'm letting in new people, whether it's platonic friends or new relationships, they have to be quality relationships. So yeah, that was kind of just my boundary that I set, my safeguard.
My connection idols are children. They just know what connection looks like without the explanation, right? When you see kids, random children go to a playground and they play. And somewhere along the line, I think to myself, I've lost that. Where's that gone?
That's true.
So I think my hope for connection is one day I'll be able to just randomly go to a playground, whatever that playground looks like, and just play and have fun and connect. So yeah. So we've come to the end of our wonderful discussion about love, relationship, and connections. I don't know about you, but I feel like you're never too deep into a relationship or not yet in a relationship to learn more. I've learned so much today and I had a great time with you guys. What we want to know is all your stories. Please tell us all your funny dating experiences or even advice about how to make a great connection down below in the comments. And we look forward to scrolling through them and finding out and learning more. Thank you. Thank you so much for listening to us. Goodbye.
Bye.